And welcome to Eye on Paulsboro. We come to you again by Zoom. We're very pleased to get the show back on the air. This will be shared, of course, in the various platforms, including YouTube and the Gloucester County channel. But Irma, we're back on the air. You said you wanted to be on, and we're on.
John, we had to. There's so much going on in Paulsboro with vaccine sites, which is important for all my people in Paulsboro to get their vaccine. I had the Pfizer twice, no reaction. Check with your doctor if you're not sure, please. But I just missed everybody in the store. When are you coming back? When's Eye on Paulsboro? We want to know what's going on. And I said, oh, you want to see John and I, our beautiful faces? Okay. But yeah, our people miss us.
They don't want to see me. They want to see you with community notes. So we will come back with community notes. We're happy to be back. So stay with us. We're going to have an extended visit with the mayor of Paulsboro and probably another surprise or two. Not exactly sure what the full show is going to be. We'll know when it's over. You'll know when you've seen it. So stay with us. We're coming right back.
Multi-policy discount. Paperless discount. Paid in full discount. Homeowners discount. Safe driver discount. Chipmunk family reunion. Someone stole the nuts. Squirrel jail. Justice.
Countless discounts. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
Thinking about a new appliance or an LCD TV? Don't think twice. Think Weiss. Weiss True Value has a full line of LCD TVs plus a great variety of appliances. And of course, hardware items like TrueTest paints, Master Mechanic tools, electrical supplies, key duplicating, and Rug Doctor rentals. And for repairs on screens and windows, look no further. Weiss True Value, from making keys to selling appliances and LCD TVs. Don't think twice. Think Weiss. 39 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
For everything, there's a season, and a time for everything under heaven. A time for sharing, a time for caring, a time for remembering, and a time for parting. When that time arrives, let Beth McBride Foley and Thomas D. Foley at the McBride Foley Funeral Home help you in your time of need. Offering a wide variety of funeral services from cremation to traditional, McBride Foley Funeral Home has been helping families with the loss of a loved one with over 50 years of combined service. McBride Foley Funeral Home, 228 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
And welcome back. We could do an entire show with the mayor, considering we haven't done a show in a number of months, and it's always a pleasure to have Gary on the program. For those who don't live in Paulsboro but follow us, let me tell you that being the mayor of a small town is really hands-on. If you're a mayor of Philadelphia, you got a lot of people you can hide around you, staff and this and that. When you're a mayor of a small town, Gary is either going into the hardware store, at the diner, handling a funeral. So the mayor is always the mayor, no matter what time of the day, no matter what he wants to be doing, he's the mayor. And it's been a busy time. So Gary, first of all, welcome. And I certainly appreciate you making time because you have been busy. You've been in the news. We've had tragedy. We've had success. I got just a few notes to sort of key you off, but we'll talk about anything you like. But some of the obvious stuff, people driving around. You had the demolition of the old bank building that's the library. You announced on this show some time ago the plans for it. Now it's coming to fruition. Steel's coming out of the ground. So you want to start with that because that's that's a very visible project.
Thank you, John. Thank you for the kind words. Yes. Dollar General, they finally got it torn down, got the permits they needed from the state and such, since it was on the main road, and proceeding pretty fast with it, actually. I mean, in a couple of days, they had all the steel girders up. The bank, they said, was a little bit hard to tear down, obviously, because of the thick walls. The construction of the bank, as well as the big vaults that were in there. They had to bring in extra trucks to lift the vaults out. So moving along, John, I talked to them yesterday. They're looking to have it built by the middle of May and hope to be in business June.
Yeah, Gary, it flies by. It's going to be interesting, that end of Broad Street, reintroducing some commerce there, because, that'll marry in with Jacobs. Jacobs has a nice trade. So, those things just help. Now, the other end of town, we just move quickly as we bounce around a bit. The other end of town, some of the streets been opened up. You've got a water main project going on. They're the kind of projects that people don't see because they get buried in the ground, but that's significant stuff.
Yeah, all good going on in that part. We're finishing up Thompson Avenue. We got a couple of to-do lists to finish that up. We're working our way down on the side streets, the Pine Street, the Spruce Street, the Paul Avenue. We're moving right down. Like I said, we're going to finish up the very end of Thompson Avenue on between Abatements and Cedar. That'll wrap that street up once and for all. West Washington Street's going to be a huge project we're doing the entire West Washington from Delaware Street all the way to Word Avenue. And that means water mains, paving, the whole 9 yards. So we got a lot of infrastructure stuff going on. We're still working on the sewage treatment plant, the water plant, adding carbon filters, a new treatment facility up there to complement what we have there. So, yeah, we got a lot of infrastructure stuff going on, a lot of infrastructure. Of course, the plaza is still a project in the works.
Yeah, Gary, and what is the status there? I know you've been hands-on, first of all, getting that retail store next to the supermarket. It looks like it's doing really well. Traffic seems to be consistent. The store is clean, it's bright, really complements the Save-A-Lot.
Yeah, John, and it's a good point you make because, we've all been other Dollar Trees and Dollar Generals where you couldn't even get through the aisles. It's just terrible. I was out there yesterday, as you said, part of the mayor, walking around, visiting all the shops and stores, and Save-A-Lot's doing great business. And also that Dollar Tree, I talked to them yesterday. There were some concerns about certain things, and nothing of that's come to fruition, and they are doing a booming business. Dollar Tree is very happy. They do keep a clean store and well staffed with local workers, which even makes it better.
Gary, I was surprised, like everything's really $1. I was stunned. I was near the other.
Yeah, some of the stuff I go in there, I can't believe is only $1. I'm like thinking, this can't be $1. A thing about crackers and cheese and meat.
Yeah. Hey, guys, stay with us, Gary. We're going to take a little quick break, and we'll be right back. We're visiting with the mayor of Paulsboro, Gary Stevenson, and we'll be right back.
Life is a journey that we travel with a lot of uncertainty. When your family is faced with change and you're in need of understanding, direction, honesty, and professionalism, we at the Landolfi Funeral Home have a tradition of assisting you with all of your needs in any way that we can. We offer many affordable funeral services. Please feel free to call us with any questions you may have or visit us at www.landolfifuneralhome.com.
Rizzo Family Chiropractic Center in Gibbstown offers pain relief with a difference. Using specific chiropractic adjustments, Rizzo Family Chiropractic will get to the root of your problem quickly. Bring your headaches, neck, back, joint, or limb pain to Dr. Karen Rizzo. If you have recurring pain, chiropractic can help. Rizzo Family Chiropractic can relieve many sources of pain without extended treatment and ongoing therapy. Give your family the gift of caring professional pain relief with a difference. Rizzo Family Chiropractic.
Come on down Route 55 to the Millville Airport. Visit Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms, a gun shop with a woman's touch. Buying, selling, and trading firearms and military items, especially seeking World War II, German, Japanese, and American items. Buying single items or entire collections. That's Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms at the Millville Airport, 21 Peterson Street, next to the Glasstown Brewing Company.
Welcome back. Gary's working with his administrative assistant, his mother Irma, sitting off to the side, finalizing community notes, which of course everyone looks forward to. Gary, I had made a few notes here, just because I want to try and catch up on some things. But we can't not do this interview and not speak about the recent tragedy that occurred in town with the loss of life of 2 kids. I said to you in our conversations that your hands-on as mayor was just the right touch, but that was a hard night, wasn't it?
John, I was telling people, and they were asking me questions about the last time we had a fatal fire, and this was a month or 2 ago. And I said, you know what? It's been 40 years, and as an active fireman, I've never had to deal with a fire fatality, unfortunately, it happened. John, I don't know if, and your father was a fireman for years, and he actually went through this. I don't know if there's an adjective to explain the sorrow, the devastation, just the feelings of complete total loss, and any fire fatality, but also when you have 2 children, especially 5 and 7-year-old boys that die in a fire. I don't think there's any words you can say at all.
No, Gary, there's not. And that's just you and I as citizens and as people being, empathetic to what happened. You imagine having to be a parent. I remember my mother telling me stories. My father was on one of the fires at the old, then it was called the Paulsbury Manor. And, you put the history of the fire department together. I forgot how many kids perished that night. Was it 2? Was it 3? But my mother told me for years after that fire, my father would come and sit in our rooms at night and watch us sleep. That's how moved he was, and the kind of toll it takes on first responders, firemen, police, neighbors, and family. You just don't forget this stuff.
Yeah, John, and like I said at the memorial service, I headed up with the local clergy, and I spoke to a couple of firemen who are still absolutely devastated. And I remember speaking to your dad when I was writing the history book about, man, if you didn't stop to find these socks on your way going to the firehouse, or if you got there a little quicker, if you ran the red light, to the firemen always staying, had they been 10, 30 seconds, 1 minute earlier to the fire station would have made a difference. And I said to those firemen, you gave everything you had. I got all the records of the response time, the rescue time. What they did was truly amazing. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, I've rescued people. I know what it's like to do that. And to be there in less than 5 minutes and have those kids out of that house in less than 10 minutes with the fire, it was roaring. I've seen pictures of it even before the cops got there. And they went through smoke and flame and tremendous amount of heat. I'm sure that house backdraft, you and I know exactly what that means. And yet all those firemen just gave it their all to rescue those kids. And God bless those firemen for what they did. They did all that they could do. There was nothing more they could have done.
No, Gary, you always say to people, it sounds pat to say something like this at this point, but the only way to handle something like that is for it not to have happened. But they're called accidents for a reason.
Yes.
And we just all have to be mindful. Smoke detectors, everything you always talk about as a municipal leader, smoke detectors, it's not plugging in these space heaters with undersized extension cords, always feel the outlet. All these things come into play. But you made, first of all, I thought the prayer ceremony was really just heartfelt. You made an announcement, why don't you make it again here for people maybe didn't catch it. It got a lot of wide coverage about the playground down at Lincoln Park.
I appreciate that, John. Thank you. Yes. I did the history on a fire company. Unfortunately, there's a lot of fire fatalities throughout the years. But this one strikes it especially hard. I could think, what way could we remember these children the best? And one of the ways I said was about smoke detectors, going to the fire company. We'll get you smoke detectors. By the way, there was a working smoke detector upstairs. We just don't know why no one got out in time, or the kids didn't get out, but we'll work on that. But the most thing is, what's best to remember these kids that, we saw pictures of them with the big smiles on their face, them playing. And that's how I think it's best to remember these children. So I couldn't think of a better way than down at Lincoln Park, with the huge park where a lot of kids go to have fun and ride the sliding thing, the twirly thing that twirls around, the sliding board and such, to put their name somewhere out there. So these children are not forgotten, and it ties in with them to be happy-go-lucky kids, and a memory that'll last for a long, long time.
Oh, Gary, perfect. I mean, just a perfect touch. And I've said to people that these youngsters had only recently come to Paulsboro, but once you're in Paulsboro, you're in Paulsboro. So the sense of loss the community felt, in a large sense, it just wrapped its arms around that family, as a town should. And that being said, Gary, stay with us. We're going to come back. We'll take a little break. We're going to finish up visiting with the mayor, and we'll be right back.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
discount, paperless discount, paid in full discount, homeowners discount, safe driver discount, chipmunk family reunion, someone stole the nuts, squirrel jail, justice.
Countless discounts. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
Thinking about a new appliance or an LCD TV? Don't think twice. Think Weiss. Weiss True Value has a full line of LCD TVs plus a great variety of appliances. And of course, hardware items like TrueTest paints, master mechanic tools, electrical supplies, key duplicating, and rug doctor rentals. And for repairs on screens and windows, look no further. Weiss True Value, from making keys to selling appliances and LCD TVs. Don't think twice. Think Weiss. 39 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
For everything, there's a season, and a time for everything under heaven. A time for sharing, a time for caring, a time for remembering, and a time for parting. When that time arrives, let Beth McBride Foley and Thomas D. Foley at the McBride Foley Funeral Home help you in your time of need. Offering a wide variety of funeral services from cremation to traditional, McBride Foley Funeral Home has been helping families with the loss of a loved one with over 50 years of combined service. McBride Foley Funeral Home, 228 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
And we are back with the mayor of Paulsbury. We broke it into 3 segments because it's been so long since we got to visit on the show with the mayor. Gary, why don't we jump over to some of the other economic development stuff? You have spearheaded converting empty lots into new homes, and some of those pieces are coming together because the real estate market is hot.
Oh yeah, thank you, John. Very good. I'll be brief. Couple things. If you notice that house that caught fire 5 years ago, where I rescued that girl. Speaking of fires, from that fire, we finally condemned it, got through the lawyer stuff, got through all the legal. That's going to come down. We're going to tear that down. We're going to tear a house down on Commerce. That's been an eyesore. And we're going to continue with our 4 to 5 houses, buildings, whatever. We're going to tear down a year. Following up with that, we had some lots that where we originally tore down some homes that we have now builders in. And it kind of got held up with COVID and all, but we're actually going to have some probably, I would say, at least a half dozen more, if not more, houses built by the end of this year. In fact, they should start within a month. One on Dayton, one on Commerce Street, one on Beacon Avenue. There's a few others that escape my mind. Out on Clomel, 2 or 3 houses there. So finally, doing all this work on acquiring lots, houses, tearing down, building up, rehabbing. We got a couple of good group of builders, developers coming in, buying up. And under our development plan, it has to be for homeowners only for the first 5 to 7 years. So, we're moving along on that front very well. And once again, that ties in, of course, with the port. Get people in here. The port's coming. The slab, they already put the big slabs for the buildings in. Soon they'll be hiring, I'm sure. We'll be working those details out shortly. And guess what? Those people that want to work at the port will want a close place to live. And I can't think anything better than Paulsbury, an eighth of a mile or so from where they're going to work. So I believe all that's going to tie in. It's going to help. We got a couple of eateries that are coming in. In fact, I'm meeting with one that wants to open up an empty store on Delaware Street for a special eatery. We got the old Carmen's. Looks like that's going to open up. The other existing ones, Jacob's, Pat's, the diner's doing well. So all this will tie in really well.
Yeah, and Gary, we've always struggled in town with not having new housing stock because Paulsboro is largely entirely built out. So this initiative of yours, introducing 3, 4, 5 new houses, they're going to sell quickly. Houses in Paulsboro are not staying on the market at the moment. Our location proximity 295 has always been strong, but one of our downsides has been we didn't have new housing stock. I mean,
a few of the houses. I'm sorry to interrupt. The few of the houses that sold, I was absolutely shocked at the price for, and they sold very, very quickly. One within a few days. And we're working with our local banks, John, the Fulton Bank, the Century Bank, HMFA through the state, which you're well aware of. Low interest loans, helping to pay the closing cost. We've done a few tax abatements as well. That's helped the banks to help the homeowners. All this is puzzles that are coming together that are finally coming to fruition. I'm looking for this year to be great, and even next year and the next year, even more houses and more lots as we acquire more properties. And now that we've kind of taken the first few steps to learn how to do this, we're running now. We're no longer walking. We're actually a fast trot now, and I expect to be a full run by the end of the year, early next year, where we're going to do a heck of a lot more on the housing front.
Gary, so thank God you're retired. See, so you have plenty of time for all this. I mean, so you got funerals tonight. You're going to lay to rest Chief Giordano, correct?
Yeah, Mr. Giordano, great gentleman, great family. I went to school with him, worked with his sons. Of course, Tony Giordano, his brother, former Paulsbury police officer, pushed the 52 American La France out in the fire of '62, and then of course I restored it and all. So great family there, great family. A tragic loss to their family, but he's got a wonderful family there. Some have become police chiefs, policemen. So, it's same, but he lived a full life, Oh,
good man. Just a good man. We're going to close on that high note. As you remember, the Giordanos, the family, we mourn their loss. And actually, as we record this show this coming Saturday, the kids are going to be laid to rest from St. Paul's. This show probably won't air by then, but everyone will have probably seen that funeral procession. So to Mayor Stevenson, Gary, thank you very much. Enjoyed the visit, and the mayor is always accessible. Just call the municipal building. I can tell you he's responsive. He cares. That's how he was raised. And we will be right back as the show continues. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
Life is a journey that we travel with a lot of uncertainty. When your family is faced with change and you're in need of understanding, direction, honesty, and professionalism, we at the Landolfi Funeral Home have a tradition of assisting you with all of your needs in any way that we can. We offer many affordable funeral services. Please feel free to call us with any questions you may have or visit us at www.landolfifuneralhome.com.
Rizzo Family Chiropractic Center in Gibbstown offers pain relief with a difference. Using specific chiropractic adjustments, Rizzo Family Chiropractic will get to the root of your problem quickly. Bring your headaches, neck, back, joint, or limb pain to Dr. Karen Rizzo. If you have recurring pain, chiropractic can help. Rizzo Family Chiropractic can relieve many sources of pain without extended treatment and ongoing therapy. Give your family the gift of caring professional pain relief with a difference. Rizzo Family Chiropractic.
Come on down Route 55 to the Millville Airport. Visit Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms, a gun shop with a woman's touch. Buying, selling, and trading firearms and military items, especially seeking World War II, German, Japanese, and American items. Buying single items or entire collections. That's Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms at the Millville Airport, 21 Peterson Street, next to the Glasstown Brewing Company.
And welcome back. It's time for Community Notes with Irma Stevenson, which is really the reason we do the show. Although, frankly, the visit with the mayor was informative. We hope you felt the same way. There's a lot going on in a small town, but there always is. So, Irma, good to be back. Community Notes time. Why don't you start?
How come I had to follow him after all? But, happy birthdays to everyone I miss, and happy birthday to George Hurst, 90 years old, and Paulsboro Fire Company had to drive by to wish him a happy birthday. Brenda K. Stevenson, Walt Stevenson, Easy Rider, Zach Aaron, Beth Stevenson Kelly, G. Maddox, Lori Dombrowski Zane, Denise Dombrowski Lemke, Sister Joanne Berchichelli, John, Ted Berchichelli, Winnie Kula, Judy DeFetra, Emmett Murching, Debbie O'Leary, Brian O'Leary, and Billy Franklin. And happy anniversaries to everybody I did miss. Gary Lynn Stevenson, Bonnie and John Haddock, Peggy and Ray Williams. Oh, happy birthday, Ray Williams, too, my goodness. And John, I'd like to say congratulations to our Paulsbury Lady Red Raiders basketball team. They came second in the Colonial Conference. They were small in numbers, but very, very large in heart. And thanks to the coaches, Erica Scott and Tom Peaches Richardson. Don't forget to feed my sheep at St. Paul's on 2 Wednesdays, usually the first and third Wednesdays at 9 a to 11 p. All you have to do is the residents of Paulsbury and our dear friends at Glorious Light have a food bank every Wednesday from 10:30 to 12:30 on Broad Street. Please don't forget, Paulsbury will have their cleanup day and shredding day on April the 24th from 9 to 1 in the Borough parking lot. I've been on some of the streets and they really need to start picking up. Let's go and get all your old checks that you don't want anybody else to know about. Get them ready for the shredders and come out and help. Please, please. The Boys and Girls Club will be holding their Easter egg hunt on March 27th. Please contact for the ages and look on Facebook. Please, Gary Funk, a class of 1986, would like to hold their class reunion the end of July 31st at Paulsbury Fisherman's Club, he said. Look on the Facebook and please contact him. And you're going to need a reunion, definitely by the end of COVID. And also, please, I'd like to say thank you on the death of our grandson, John, for everyone that reached out. And also our daughter, Judy, who is battling cancer. She's doing fine, but is in University of Pennsylvania. She has blood clots in her lung, but she's going to be fine. She will be. Also, Paulsbury Little League will be joining with Gibbstown Little League this year because of the numbers, evidently COVID. Please call Gary Goss. Please take your kids down to Gibbstown and let's play ball for a change. We need to play ball, that's for sure.
What's his contact number? That's a very smart idea to put those two groups together this year.
Go on the Paulsbury Little League site.
Okay.
And Gary Goss or Paulsbury Little League, he has a site. They'll be glad to. Please, and they're boys and girls, John. They are boys and girls. They can come out and just have a great. We need our kids out there outside playing. And I would like everybody to remind them, don't forget your face mask. $9.99, Paulsboro High School Red Raiders at CBS. And Paulsboro won their first wrestling match, 51-17 over Collingswood. We have a lot of new wrestlers. Parents at this time can only go, but they are live streaming, John. So, that's great.
A few little odds and ends as well. If you're wondering what's going on at St. Paul's Church, Irma will know there was a number of months ago, a car careened off of Broad Street and took out part of the sign, the digital sign that's being replaced. That was an odd day. I remember that happening on a late day on a Sunday. It was really wild. We sort of watched.
The gentleman was celebrating something, but Pastor and I talked to him. He came to church a couple times and thank goodness, he wasn't hurt. No one else was. So, yes.
And on a high note, we'll close out community notes. We got footage. Of course, this goes back a couple months ago. The high school football season this year was shortened.
It's great, John.
Yeah, they had one game canceled with Gateway because of COVID issues on the Gateway side. But they closed the season out with a big win in Salem City. It happened to be down, got a little bit of footage. And what has become somewhat of a tradition when it can happen, the kids stopped, the buses stopped at Hill Studio.
That was great.
To welcome them. And Glenn Howard led the group to sing the alma mater. We've got footage of that. So to Fred, who of course is at a distance taping this, I think we should go out on that footage with the kids. It was an outdoor event. There weren't a lot of masks being worn at that time. The kids had just played a football game. And Glenn Howard finished an undefeated season. I think if they would have got the second game in, they would have been the favorite there, and it would have been a 7-0 season. But congratulations to Glenn and the kids. Irma mentioned the basketball.
We had so many dedicated coaches and people. And John, I want you to know I got a halo. Look at this. I don't know about that.
You've always had a halo.
Well, it does once in a while, John, but that's okay.
That's going to close out this show, and we're happy to be back. We hope to be back with more frequency. Irma?
See you on Broad Street and go Big Red.
And I think that's really going to about do it. Until next time.
Thank you for all of your support. We went through a strange territory today down to Salem, but we felt the Paulsbury pride supporting us for the whole 4 quarters, and that pulled us through. We really appreciate it. I just feel very blessed to have the opportunity to work with these young men. They mean a lot to all of us. They do a great job. They put so much hard work and so many hours in. We told them today was the final product of months and months and months of training and hard work and darkness and getting dropped off and picked up late hours and all that stuff down at that field. All that hard work paid off today. And they accomplished something that not many Paulsbury teams have done, and that's an unbeaten season. We're really, really proud of it.
All right.